Welcome back to Interactive Wrestling Radio right here on WrestlingEpicenter.com. And on the Newsmaker line is one of my old-time favorites. The incomparable Boris Zhukov is on the line with us. Boris, are you with us?
Sure am. Good evening to you.
Good evening to you as well. I got to tell you, there's probably a lot of people right now that just heard you talk and all of a sudden said, wait a minute, that's not a Russian accent.
No, this is a Russian accent.
All right. Now, we don't have to start with the Russian national anthem, do we?
No.
All righty. Well, it's great to talk to you. Basically, for those who haven't, heard your name in a few years, what's been going on? How are you doing, and what you up to?
Oh, doing very well. I'm a over-the-road truck driver now.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Fred Ottman, Typhoon or Tugboat is doing that now too, I think.
Right, yeah. A few guys are doing that, so yeah, sure are.
And you enjoy life on the road then still?
Yeah, because that's all I've ever done, so that's why I stuck with it. So.
Very good, very good. Well, let me ask you this question: what in the world ever brought you into this crazy wrestling business in the first place?
Well, that was something I wanted to do. I decided I wanted to do while I was still a junior, and then junior high, and then high school.
Really, and obviously you brought in. Everybody knows the backstory that you ended up in Crockett and AWA and WWF, but was getting to Crockett like a huge accomplishment for you at that point in 1982?
Yeah, because I grew up watching all that, and then I got to become a big part of it. So that was a big dream for me. So that in fact that to me that's the most special part for me, because that was such a big promotion here in our local area, for many years. So
very cool. Now you were the babyface for a while, and then when you went to the AWA, you kind of repackaged you, changed your name, and that's when Boris Zhukov was born.
Right.
How did you like changing everything up and suddenly donning such a new menacing Russian character at the height of the Cold War?
Well, real enjoyable, because like I said, when I got started, I started out being a heel. Then I first went to Crockett, I was a heel because when I worked with Sergeant Slaughter,
right.
Up with Don Canodal and all that, So I already had that background, but that was something I had wanted to do, because Ivan was a big heel here, and Ivan Koloff here for Crockett with Mid-Atlantic, and then I got to be with Ivan in Atlanta when I first moved down to Atlanta and everything. So that was a big thing for me to get to do, So, and then I had a chance to when I left Crockett to go work for Bill Watts in Louisiana, and that was a great thing about the territories, because you could go somewhere and be somebody else, and nobody knew who you was. So
there you go. Do you think that's what's missing in today's wrestling?
Yeah, cable killed it.
You think cable killed it?
Yes.
Wow.
Terry Funk said that years ago, that it was going to be the undoing of wrestling, and he was so right. So
really,
yeah, and the territories are gone. I mean, and there's no new talent to come from anywhere. Everybody already knows everybody. You got the same old guys with TNA, and they're going back and forth between WWE. There's nowhere for new guys to come from and get experience because and you talk to the young guys now, they can't comprehend getting to be in the ring every night.
Huh.
And another thing that I've noticed is that a lot of the talented guys that probably would make great wrestling talents are all going to MMA and UFC.
Right.
Would that have been something you would have done?
You can't get experience if you're not in the ring, and you can't get experience only a couple nights a week. They don't cut it.
Right.
You know what? I got to tell you something. Bill Eadie said something once on our interview.
I was just thinking about that.
Oh, he was at an indie show, Bill Eadie, Demolition Axe, and he was at an indie show, and he said to this kid who was there, he said, "How long have you been wrestling?" "I've been wrestling 2 years." He said, "Really? How many matches have you had?" He said, 30. He said, "You have 1 month experience."
Oh yeah,
I think that's
and he's exactly right, because even when I first went to Atlanta, and I was just doing it part time, he could wrestle 6 times on the weekend, 4 times on Saturday, and then on Sunday.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, and when I got going full time, you'd be begging for a night off. You'd go, and then in the summertime, see when I got with Crockett full time. In the summertime, we had matinees. We had Saturday afternoon and Sunday afternoon, and Saturday night and Sunday night.
Wow.
And then he worked all week long. And that's the only way you get experience. You don't get experience sitting at home. You got to be in that ring every day, and that's how you learn.
Absolutely. Who came up with the actual name of Boris Zhukov?
I came up with it myself.
Really? Oh, very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Cool name.
Yeah, she did.
So I guess we got to talk about when you finally, you were actually doing real well in the AWA. You were tag champs with Soldat Yuzunov, and Adnan LKC was your manager. And I guess something happened with Sheik, and Nikolai needed a partner, and you ended up forming the Bolsheviks. Was that, how did that end up coming about, and was it a big jump for you to go all the way to the what was becoming obviously the juggernaut that is now the WWE?
Yeah, because at that time I saw the writing on the wall. Other territories were starting to go by the wayside, and I saw what the WWF was doing, and it was really the only choice I had. But I had 2 people to put in a good word for me when they was looking for a partner for Nikolai. And that was Jack Lanza and Sherry Martel.
Really? All right.
Yeah. They both put in a good word for me, and then I had the offer come from WWF to go. It's just that when they wanted me to leave, they didn't want me to be no part of dropping the tag titles. My contract was running out. I told them what date it was running out, and in fact, 24 hours after it ran out, I had my first show with WWF.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Now, how did you enjoy your run in WWF? Because it seemed like it was something that they never fully, went with. It was kind of push and pull, kind of. That's just the way it appeared to me. Was that how the way you felt?
Yeah. Well, I knew what it was going to be the first night I went there. I was just going to be, I was going to be with Nikolai and everything, and of course we had a ton of heat because of the Soviet Union and the Gimmick and everything, but I knew right off it was just going to be part of the support cast. So,
well, it's got to be pretty cool for you to say you've actually wrestled Hulk Hogan at the height of everything that was going on there.
Oh yeah, and everybody I got to work with, because everybody was just super, Hacksaw Jim Duggan and Macho Man and Steamboat and Santana and Martel and the British Bulldogs and Junkyard Dog and Jake Roberts, on and on, so yeah, and to me that's all mattered. The only thing that ever mattered to me, and I never could get guys to understand, you don't make any money. Back then days, you didn't make any money unless you was booked.
Ah, there you go.
If you weren't in the ring every night, you didn't make any money.
There you go. So you were on nearly every show. So
yeah. So as long as I was booked and making money, I didn't really care. That's how I looked at it. Because it was
one thing I wanted to ask you. I'm sorry. Well, one thing I wanted to ask you about is something that's really been lost on today's modern wrestling, and that's the importance of tag team wrestling. Is that something that you feel is missing from wrestling? Would you like to see more of a return of tag teams? Because obviously you played a big part in that back in the 80s.
Yeah, but the bad thing is now is nobody has any psychology today. Nothing they do makes any sense.
Absolutely.
They just go out there and go and do stuff without any reasoning. None of it makes any sense. I
agree. I think that's
there's no logic. You can go out there and give some guy a big bump off the top rope, and you keep the match going. That don't make any sense.
Absolutely.
You drop a guy from that far, the match should be over.
I agree.
They'll pick a guy and give him a suplex off the top rope, and the next thing they knew is shoot him in the rope and give him an elbow. That makes no sense.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think
there's no psychology to anything they do. They just go out there and do spots, and none of it makes any sense.
So I take it you're not. I agree, by the way, but I take it you're not a huge fan of watching it anymore.
I don't care to watch none of it anymore because it's dead. They've killed it. Vince killed it.
Do you think they'll ever bring it back? Do you think there's any way to bring it back?
If they don't go back to wrestling, it'll never come back. They've done everything they can do. There's nothing left to do except to go back to the beginning, and that's wrestling. And that was another thing Terry Funk said years ago. It's got to go back to wrestling. And they don't wrestle because nobody knows how to wrestle.
Now, you quoted Terry Funk twice. Is he like a mentor of yours?
Yes, he was a very big help to me. And like I said, they don't listen to them old guys. My gosh, when I got started, that's who I paid attention to because them guys were on the road every night making money. And I figured if I wanted to be on the road every night, I needed to learn from them. So that's who I learned from. Was guys like him. Steamboat, Flair, and Ole and Gene Anderson, and guys like that.
Absolutely. By the way, Terry's been on our show a couple times, and he's given me.
If you go back and watch the matches of years ago with guys that were in the ring every night, them guys told a story.
Right.
When they was in the ring, you watch their matches, watch the matches today. It's like the matches today are nothing but scrambled eggs. Nothing makes any sense.
Very good. And I mean, the ones who can still do it are the ones that are on top. But unfortunately, those guys are getting up there in age. So
yeah,
you're kind of in a position now where I don't know what the next step is. I mean, some people have argued with me that MMA has just simply stolen the simple formula of wrestling, and because it's real. And
right.
And that's why people are flocking to that rather than watching wrestling anymore. Do you agree with that?
Yeah. If they have something to follow, there's no angles or nothing. Like I said, the angles years ago, you could have an angle that would last almost a year, and now they do it in 3 weeks?
Yeah, and they have exactly because it's all exactly what Pat just said. It's all leading into a pay-per-view, and
it all leads into a pay-per-view. When they did TV years ago and stuff, there'd be times they'd leave you hanging. You could have a tag match go off the air, and you wouldn't find out what happened until the very next week. And wrestling only came on once or twice a week back then. Now it comes on all the time, and it doesn't mean anything.
I would tend to agree.
It's just been oversaturated.
We interviewed Nikolai Volkov about, it's almost 7 years ago. I had him on, and he kind of kayfabed me a little bit. Said that basically everything that he did in the 80s was cartoonish, and he hated it and all that, and that included his tag run with you. And how did you like Nikolai?
We got along great. We just had to do what the office said to do, and I know exactly what he's talking about because we were, put between a rock and a hard spot, and we could only do what they let us do.
Very cool. Well, I guess you've been out of the ring for a while now. When did you officially retire?
Officially, I left WWF right at the end of '90, early part of 91. Then I just went straight into doing some independents for about a year, and then I started training for truck driving in 92s. But officially, as far as doing independent shows, it's been about a year ago.
Really? So it's only been about a year that you've been that you've been officially been done. If anybody called up, would you still do it, or are you officially just done?
No, my time is gone.
Your time is done? Oh, okay.
Yeah, my time's done. So, yeah, because I can't do the things I used to do. Once you can't do the things you used to do, it's time to stop.
There you go. That's a good idea. And well, I got to tell you, it's been great having you on so far. And can I give you a couple word associations, just a couple names that have passed through the years that you've seen, and maybe give me, if you have a one-word answer, great. If you have just a small story, feel free to do that as well.
Okay.
I guess the first one is Sherry Martel.
Oh, Sherry, she was just a wonderful, sweet lady. Like I said, she gave me a big help getting to WWF with Vince. She went to Vince for me and stuff, you know, because we were good friends in the AWA, and she was real close with with me and my entire family, and real good to my son and stuff. She's a very, very special, sweet friend, and I miss her dearly.
Absolutely. It's really stunning when you go back and watch a tape from that era of wrestling, and you just kind of, I don't know if everybody else does it, but I kind of make a tally of, okay, that one's gone, that one's gone, that one's gone. It's just it's a horrible thing to think about.
She was one of the best women wrestlers we ever had. I got to do a mixed tag with her one time. We had a blast. Oh. And she was solid as a rock in that ring too. So yeah, she didn't mess around. So I had a lot of respect for her because she gave it 100% all the time.
How about Sergeant Slaughter?
Super guy, just 100% class act, no doubt about it. And he helped us so much, you know, because we did the deal with the Private Nelson and all that stuff, mm-hmm. and then I got to work the gimmick with him with the Russian thing and stuff. So but the thing with Private Nelson, that's what and working with him then, that's what helped me so much down the road.
Pat, do you want to give one?
Oh, sure. How about Hulk Hogan?
Oh, Hulk was the goose that laid the golden egg. There'll never be another one. There'll never be another Hulk Hogan.
Absolutely not.
How about this one? A celebrity that you interacted with at WrestleMania 6. How about Steve Allen?
Oh, Steve, yeah, we got to do that little gig with him and stuff, and that was a blast because he helped so much doing that whole thing. You know, that was just a blast to do. I really enjoyed that. He was a great guy.
Yes, he was. And before he went, he had seen the writing on the wall with wrestling too, by the way. I don't know if you read much of his later editorials and things, but before he passed away, he said very vividly that he did not like the direction that wrestling had taken. And looks like we all agree on the line, I think. So, and I guess the final... Sorry?
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. A lot of people feel that way.
Absolutely. And the final one I have for you, and then we'll let you go. For those who don't know, we're actually recording this like at 11:30 at night on the East Coast, so we're going to let you get to sleep. I guess the guy who gave you, you know, the most exposure ever and never failed to take a chance to talk about the size of your head, Vince McMahon. Oh, Vince,
yeah, he loved to talk about the size of my head and stuff and everything, but yeah, it was great getting to go work for him and all that stuff. I just don't like what he did to the business.
Very good. And I guess the next question, the last question I have for you is, you know, do you want to promote your Facebook page if people want to catch up to you and maybe share some stories about seeing you when you were an active performer?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Just Boris Zhukov on my Facebook page and stuff and everything, you know. So, but I'll tell you what, the person I'd like to mention was a guy who gave me my big start and my first big break was Ole Anderson.
Ole Anderson, who, by the way, it's a travesty that he's not in Orlando, Florida right now.
Yeah, but he doesn't care about that junk.
You don't think so?
No. He should be there. There's no excuse that they didn't put him in. It's an atrocity as far as I'm concerned. They didn't put him in, but Ole don't care about stuff like that.
Well, God bless him. And Ole is. Can I give you one quick Ole story? A guy who works on our website called him up for an interview once, and the guy does not know Ole Anderson's history.
Oh, goodness sakes.
Ole actually gave him a quiz on the phone.
Oh, I'm sure.
He gave him a quiz on the phone. He got maybe one of the 4 questions right. And he said, I'll tell you what, you buy and read my book, call me back, I'll quiz you again, and we'll do the interview.
Yeah, that's Ole.
That's it.
Yeah.
Everybody else would be like that, SOB, and I'm like, I think that's awesome. So
yeah. When he was booking there in Georgia and stuff, and I'd only been working independence for about a year, I got in touch with him, and he told me to come down and he'd take a look at me, and he put me right in the ring with him and Ivan Koloff in a tag match and stuff, and I was very fortunate and went on from there and stuff. He gave me good bookings and kept me busy, made me money, and gave me my first big break. And I love him to death. So I have a world of respect for him.
Absolutely. Well, God bless you, sir. Thank you again for giving us this opportunity to talk to you. It's always a treat and an honor for me personally to do this. And again, I can't thank you enough for spending this time with us tonight.
You're welcome. I'm glad to do it.
All right. Thank you. This was Boris Zhukov here on Interactive Wrestling Radio. Stay tuned for more. Welcome back to Interactive Wrestling Radio. We just finished up with Boris Zhukov and WrestleMania just completed. We're recording this just moments after The Rock defeated John Cena in the main event of WrestleMania 28. Here we are. What did you guys think?
I'll let Nick go first because I'm sure he's going to be really passionate about this more than I am.
Well, do you mean what do I think of the Rock Cena match, or what did I think of the show overall?
Show overall.
I honestly think they tanked the first hour in an effort to help Triple H and The Undertaker look better in comparison. I feel like you had a lot of really disappointing matches. I mean, my God, Daniel Bryan and Sheamus get 18 seconds for what's supposed to be a title match. Beth Phoenix eats another pin to fucking Maria Menounos. Both the Cody Rhodes match and the Randy Orton Kane match just seemed like both guys nobody really wanted to open the gas tanks. I mean, I will say that the Undertaker Triple H match was good, but I thought it went too long and it got very, very overbooked. I mean, I've seen Combat Zone Wrestling have more restraint in the amount of high spots they do in Cage of Death, for God's sake. So I feel like Jericho versus Punk got screwed with that stupid, if you get disqualified, Punk, you'll lose the WWE title because
but they threw it at the last minute.
Yeah, it was last minute, and also the story had been Punk wants to kill Jericho. He wants to tear him apart. Well, now he can't do that. Now he has to hold back. You could see the finish of the 12-man tag 2 miles away. And Rock and Cena had a very boring match, not helped by the fact both men were gassing in five minutes into the damn thing.
Yeah, I felt like towards the end especially that both men were gassed. But, the overall impressions of WrestleMania, I guess you pretty much already went match by match, but starting with Sheamus and Daniel Bryan, I didn't give a shit about this match going in. I made the comment this morning to somebody I was talking to that if they dropped that match, I wouldn't even notice. That's how unimportant that match is. And then WrestleMania kicks in. They're the opening match. Surprise, surprise. And it ends literally just like that, 18 seconds. And I started laughing because I'm like, the internet nerd rage is going to be insane. But, here we go again.